In the last video, we got all the bits of software we needed installed to set up a FreeBSD mail server using Postfix, Dovecot, rspamd. Let's jump in and start configuring, shall we? Okay, so let's get this test bed up and running. Let me just swap scenes, start it up. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not FreeBSD. I've been trying out Home Assistant, guaranteed to make your virginity grow back, but smart home is the way forward, I guess. That's for another video. Let's shut that down and swap the disk over. There we go. All right, let's move you out the way. Let's try that again, shall we? I get the feeling this will be a slightly longer one than usual, so get your coffee ready. Keyboard was upside down. We don't need that. We're going to use SSH for most of this. Let's make sure it comes up all right.
That's what she said.
There we go. So let's get logged into that. So we want test bed. There we go. 14.3. Let's clear that, maximize that, and let's make it big.
Uh-oh. Better make myself look big.
That better? Yeah, that'll do nicely. All right, so if you remember correctly, I was using Purple Hat's tutorial, and I'll leave a link in the description to it. It's the one that I started off with when it was based on MariaDB, which looks like it's being revived. So hopefully we can go back to that at some point, because there are some funny, I like rspamd, but there's some funny nuances in it. But let's carry on. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our Nginx web server. You know, it's funny. This is the first video I've created since turning 50. I've had to raise the size of the font on my phone because my eyes are going. Nobody tells you about these little aches and niggles when you're younger that are going to creep up and hit you in the face when you get to a certain age. It seems to have started already for me. Never mind. Let's carry on. Right, so let's make a directory for the SSL certificates, because this is all going to be self-signed for now. And you can change that once you're up and running to Acme certs based on somebody else, which we might do in a minute anyway. Let's get these self-certs sorted. So we've created our directory. Let's create our DH params. And let's create a, that went a bit quick, a temporary key. Run through this. Now fill it into where you are, not where I am. It'll be a bit daft. State or province, give it a name, and you want to give it an FQDN. Now I'm calling this one mx2 garyhtech.uk, and that is, or will be, a legitimate FQDN. Postmaster at garyhtech.uk. Let's get rid of that, shall we? There we go, and that's that done. So let's cd to our Nginx directory and let's open the .conf. Now there's two ways of doing this. We can just delete what's in here and copy what's there, or we can go editing. I think we're going to go and just delete everything that's here and copy everything. Let's give that a try and see what happens. Let's post that in and let's just quickly look at it and make sure it looks right. There's our DH param, there's our PHP FPM, which we'll sort out in a little while. Right, so we need to just edit these because these at the moment are set to a list and we're not going to be using that list. So let's put in the correct stuff here. So we're putting the IP address of the machine. I know what mine is. We're going to comment out the IPv6 for now because I'm not using IPv6 on this. And we'll leave it at that for now. Come out of there. Okay. So let's make another directory. So not quite how I've done it. I've got different names, but it's good enough. So we're going to do that. And we're going to have an extras folder. And there we go. So you should see them there. vhosts and extras. Excellent. Okay. Let's go into our vhosts. And we're going to create one. and we're going to name it the same as the domain. So this will be garyhtech.uk.conf, and we're going to post that in. So there we go. There's our SSLs that are temporarily assigned. It's going to write to the var log nginx access.log. All right, server name. So let's change this. garyhtech.uk, and then this one too, which will be the name of the machine. Okay. Yep. Yep. And fast CGI too. Right. Okay. Now, assuming that we've got all that correct, we can just enable Nginx. So we'll do a sysrc. Actually, we won't do that. We'll do the service Nginx enable. Well, let's check that. Let's put that in. Excellent. Now, what it hasn't put in is PHP FPM, but I guess we'll come to that in a minute. Okay, let's start up Nginx. It's probably going to fail on me. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, it's there anyway. That's fine. Let's start the service. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Host not found. Okay, where's that? Oh yeah, should be able to do that. That's what I do in my one. Let's try again. There we go. Started. So let's double check that. Let's have a browser window, and let's go Home Assistant. Oh wait, why did that not work? HTTP 10.148.86.11. There we go. Interesting that it redirected to HTTPS. That's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, shouldn't work. No, that don't work because we haven't set up DNS. That's fine. Right, it's working. Next, let's set up Acme. So we're going to quickly do the directories, and then we're going to do garyhtech.uk. Now, because we're using Acme, which uses can't remember anything today. Yeah, uses Let's Encrypt. We can have our own certificates that are properly verified, and we can also do wildcards with that, which is probably what I'm going to do instead of what this says. Okay, so let's do that one. That's not what I wanted, is it? What I wanted was that. Duh. Okay, so let's go back to our Nginx extras, and let's create a file called Acme, and let's put this in. So what this does is allows us to use the .well-known folder to get our Acme certificates. That's great. We'll do that. And then we will just get in here, and we will add this at the end of this file. Now be careful with Nginx. It's very particular about its closing brackets. This may fail purely because I've put it in the wrong place. So we'll see in a sec what happens. But let's restart the service. There we go. Just as I said. Oh, that's not what's going on there. Why has that failed then? Okay. So we're going to put that somewhere else. Where is it that we've got the include? It may still fail. Yeah, you see, it's very... I love how particular it is. Let's check where I've got it in my own server. Of course, I might not have one. Yeah, it's right down the bottom of the virtual host. All right, let's bung it in there then. All right, let's try restarting it again. You know what? See, this is the annoying thing. It's all about syntax. All I've done there is move one of the curly brackets, and it's worked fine. If I understood the configuration file a bit better, it probably wouldn't happen, but there you go. So that's that. Okay, so let's go cd user local sbin, and then do acme sh install, and then cd. Okay, I didn't want it to use bash, but still, that's fine. There we go. There's the acme.sh, acme sh register account -m and the username. So we'll go with garyhtech.uk. Okay, I'm going to blur that out because you don't need to see that. Oh, hello. That's using 0SSL. We don't want to use 0SSL. Let's do that again. Actually, let's stay with it. So we won't be using wildcards. Not for this guide, but we could do if we wanted to. Would make things a little bit more easy. And -d. See if that actually works. Yeah, I know why that's happened. That has happened because www.garyhtech.uk, and without www, is already using Let's Encrypt on my real one. So we'll take those two out for now. And the other two, yeah, so we'll do that. Let me quickly make those domain names. What I might do is cheat a little bit, because I've got a wildcard certificate for this domain already, and I might just use that just to get this up and running, because I don't think this is going to work. We'll let it do its thing. I'll speed that up, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Yeah, see? All right, okay, so I've made the decision. I'm just going to copy my my certificate from my live server for now. Yeah, I know. Right, have I got a terminal open? Yeah, I have. So I want to go to that directory. So user local etc let's encrypt live. I don't want that one. Let's download it here for now. Is that right? And we'll get that one as well. All right. Okay, so let's close that, go to my test bed, and we're going to go to, let's put that and that in there, close that. All right, moving along. Okay, so just to recap, what I've done is, instead of follow the guide and set up Acme, I'm just copying over my certificates from my live server just for now, just to get this going. Let's go into our vhosts and let's change the location of these certificates. Now, because I have copied over what I did, right, this should work nice and easily. So let's go user local etc SSL, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Go into garyhtech, and we should see two folders. Okay, so let's go into garyhtech. And there's our certs. So we want the path to that. So let's change that. So which one's that? The cert. Change the path. And we want that one to be cert. We want this one to be that. And then the trusted one, we want to be the full chain, if I remember correctly. Yeah, certificate, key, priv key, and trusted. Although I haven't actually got trusted, and I've got full chain as my certificate, so I might just change that. Let's try that. So is it needed anywhere else? No, it's not. Okay. Okay. Helps if you put the proper path in. Let's try again. There we go. Right. So Nginx is now working. That's a bit daft. I've never been able to get Acme working. I've always used other things. What did I use on my server? Maybe I did use Acme. Yeah, I think I did, but I think what I did was I downloaded it from Git rather than from ports for some reason, and I can't remember why. Yeah, I can't remember, but pretty sure I did. I don't remember why I did it, but I did. Anyway, we've got it running. So we'll move on to MariaDB. So this is really simple. So we'll just fly past through this one. Let's get it enabled. Let's start it. Right. And then let's do MySQL secure installation. In order to log into MariaDB to secure it, we'll need the current password. There isn't one because this is the first time. So none. Okay, successfully used password. Moving on. Switch to Unix socket authentication. So yes. Change the root password. Yes. New password. Remove anonymous users. Yes. Disallow root logging remotely. Yes. Remove test database and access to it. Yes. Reload privileges. Okay. So let's go into user local etc mysql. Let's go into conf. Open the server. .cnf bind address. Let's change that to what we're actually running instead of just localhost. Okay, so that's 10.148.86.11. Okie dokie. And then let's restart it. Excellent. Much faster than MySQL, I've got to be honest. Now, Dovecot. So we've got an example config, and we're going to copy that into the Dovecot directory. There we go. So service Dovecot enable. I am flying through these just because that first bit for some reason really hung me up. Let's go into conf.d and let's edit 10 auth here, and let's find mechanisms. There it is, plain, and login. I wonder if just copying that will work. Don't think it did. Alright, let's find system auth.conf. I just hate it when that happens. Alright, what am I trying to find? No, we don't want that one. We want, yep, that's what we want. Right, next one, 10 mail conf, end of file, and we're going to copy all this. Yeah. Right, this is what we want. So basically just setting up our namespaces, drafts, trash, junk, setting the UID, and setting a quota lookup, which we probably won't use, but that's fine. Right, so let's go to 10 master, all the way to the bottom, and set up how it talks to postfix, basically, with a few extra bits. There we go, 10.ssl.conf. Yeah, we need to edit this command. Right, so let's put in the correct path, which is full chain. Let's use full chain, priv key. Okay, so that's what I actually want. Let's try that in our terminal. Is that the right thing? Legal variable name, which one? Okay, right, so, okay, gonna be like that. And then dhparam. Let's find that. Right, there we go. And we created that, so it should be good to be that. Okay. SSL min protocol 2.1. That's what we want. Okay. I think that's enough in there. 15 lda.conf. Put in the postmaster address. Put in the host name. So garyhtech.uk, and that should be it in there. Okay. 20 LMTP RCP T check quota. Change it to yes. Like I said, we're not going to use quotas, but you know, plugins. Going to add that as well because that's always handy to have. Right, mail plugins. Mail plugins. Okay, quota civ zlib 20 IMAP plugins. So mail plugins, quota civ. Oh, that's IMAP quota. My bad. IMAP civ and zlib. And we could do the same with POP3, but I don't like using POP3, so we'll carry on. Okay, 90 90plugin.conf, end of file, bung in that, okie dokie, 90 quota, end of file, copy this lot in. All of this will be in the description where I'm getting all of this from. So let's make where we're going to store all of this. So user local virtual bin. So cd to user local virtual bin, and let's make, this is the quota warning script. Again, won't be using it, but let's just put it all in there. And then chmeld plus x. Okay, user local virtual ziv global, and we're going to put that into it just to put some headers, and we can jiggery pokery it if we need to. And then let's civc it. 90 plugin unknown setting expire. Okay, really? Which one's this? 90 plugin. There's expire then. Have I got that in my one? Oh, I don't think I have. Oh, I have. So why ain't it working on here? Oh, I see why. There we go. Default civ script. Okay. Use local virtual. That's where it is, isn't it? Right. chown -r minus capital R, and then change the default permission. There we go. Let's go back to Dovecot SQL, and let's copy this in and just edit it slightly. Actually, let's just get all of that just so we don't miss anything out, and then we can remove that and that. Right, so host IP address, which is 110.148.86.11. It's a postfix admin DB. Well, we haven't set that up yet, but we'll just call it postfix admin DB. User, only got one user at the moment, and we'll just put in the password that it was there. Default pass scheme, yeah, sure. Okay, now I've not put the right password there, but I will do, so don't panic. So Dovecot SQL conf.exe quota 2. Well, hang on. Right, connect, and it will be IP address, DB name, what do I call it in the other one? User, which is root 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's not the right password, as I said. Always table, always quota 2 then. All right, okay. There's 2 of them. Why is there 2 of them? Doesn't matter. Moving along. Quickly change that. Self-explanatory. And then dovecot.conf. Find protocols. There it is. Don't want POP3. Okay, greeting. Change it. Where's quota? That's Dovecot set up. So next would be postfix. Now, I'm going to stop here for now. Let's see how far down the list we are. Postfix. So we're halfway down the list of setup. I might just set up PHP, mind, because that's nice and easy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set up PHP. User local etc and copy php.ini production to php.ini. Okay, let's change a few sizes and paths. So php.ini. What we're looking for? Post max size. Post max size 8 meg. Yeah, that's bugger all, isn't it? 25. Include path. Okay. Upload max file size 25 meg, and then time zone. Let's close that. Cat var db zone info Europe London. There we go. That's where we are. Bung that in. Is that it for that one? Yep. Going to user local etc. Is there a php fpm.d? There is. Let's go in there. Edit the www. Okay. And start fpm. There we go. So the bits that we've got left to do will be postfix admin, ClamAV. Let's do ClamAV. Sod it, because that's very simple. We get all of the fresh clam stuff, and then we're going to leave it there, and that's why it hasn't started. Now if I refresh if I redo FreshClam, it should be better. There we go. All good. Right, we're going to leave it there. Bye bye. Bit of a monster. I've done 2 hours of videoing. That's quite mad. Come back when I finish it off. Hopefully we'll finish off. What did I say we had? Postfix admin, rspamd, and a quick test, and we'll just leave it there. I think. Come back and see how it goes. Thanks for watching along, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bloody hell, how long is that?